If I started an HVAC company today in 2026 with 0 reviews, no website, no reputation, I could have it ranking #1 on Google Maps in a single season. And it uses all these SEO tricks and shortcuts we've been talking about here on the channel. All we need to do is find the right competitor to actually target. Today, I'm going to show you the entire playbook. And the most important part is not the setup, it's the research. How I find the exact market where a brand new company can walk in and take the top spot. Stick with me because once you know how to pick the target, you are never going to look at your own market the same way. Here's the mindset that makes this work. Most owners walk into their market, they drop a Google business profile, and they start grinding on SEO with no plan. And this is completely backwards. You should be spending 10 times the effort on the plan rather than the execution, because once the target is right, the execution is just mechanical. I'm going to show you the live research I did this morning, the market that I would attack, the company I would go after, and the month-by-month plan to actually top the competitors with real numbers. If you want us to run this exact analysis in your market and tell you who's beatable and who's not, the link is down below. But watch this research first because this is the part that nobody's teaching right now. 90% of winning in Google Maps is planting the flag in the right spot and getting your physical location located correctly. Everyone obsesses over all the tactics for SEO, and they try to get new SEO ran to the profile with better reviews, or maybe they're trying to spoof some AI rankings. Maybe it's a black hat profile, but so few people that I see and I talk to actually do the research correctly the first time when picking a Google business profile address. For example, the wrong market is going to be a place where it's high competition, the review velocity is strong, they have decades of experience, their SEO is built out comprehensively on the page, they have local landing pages, their citations are great, their better business bureau profile is built out consistently, and they have these local mentions all over the place. That's going to be pretty hard. On the flip side, if we find an affluent pocket of homeowners and customers who are ready to buy, who actually have history buying, the home value is high, and the competition is weak, we can walk in there and take it within a season. It's very, very easy. Let me show you exactly how I found this physical address to target live in about 20 minutes here. So first off in my research, we were actually going to go after plumbing originally. Looking around the map pack, it's pretty competitive, and I accidentally stumbled into a perfect example for HVAC. So let's take a look here. All I did is I started going into the profile, and all I'm doing is looking around and running scans for these keywords that are near me, right? Emergency plumber, HVAC, something that's going to be high intent for our local searchers that we know we could actually convert for the niche. So I started looking around, and I ran emergency plumber near me, and we found this guy over here, 17,000 reviews, right? Pretty aggressive. I wouldn't be targeting these guys. This is not somewhere where I want to drop a new profile. I keep looking, and Clear Drain Plumbers Denver has about 11 reviews. They're ranking so-so. It's not great. Obviously, this is not a very good area, right? Wheat Ridge seems to be pretty saturated. I would not target these guys right off the bat. And upon doing some further research, Wheat Ridge is actually not the most affluent area. They got the median income for that area is about $90,000 per year. Home value is around $400,000 per ChatGPT. So not necessarily somewhere we want to target. So even though that these guys actually have pretty strong rankings and they rank extremely well, they've got 17,000 reviews. We're not going to look at their on-page SEO because obviously they're doing pretty good over here, but I don't know if they're doing as good as we might think, right? They're ranking extremely well in the maps pack, but it's not really targeting the highest affluent areas, places where people are actually going to be spending money, right? Their propensity to actually buy and spend money on home upgrades, expensive repairs, upsells is just not there for these guys in this demographic. So this just goes to show the top winner in the map pack isn't always the #1 bad guy we need to go take out. When we're doing research to find where we're actually going to drop a new Google business profile physical address, we need to be looking for the most affluent areas, highest propensity to buy from our customers, and where the SEO is actually easiest to take out. So let's keep looking here. And as you guys can see here on screen, I go through ChatGPT just doing some of this research, trying to find out what's going on with Wheat Ridge. I think I actually ran the exact physical address of that profile. We find median household income around 90K a year. It's just not great, right? Looks like home values around the 610 range. Only 50% hold bachelor's degrees. This is not somewhere we really want to target. So I started looking into where else we could be ranking for the profile, and West Arvada actually starts coming up. So I prompted again, what other areas have high residential income? And sure enough, West Arvada is showing up right here. So we start looking around. I think I tried Castle Pines for a few minutes. Let's go see what the map scans look like. Now I'm going to begin studying the profile that I have to beat. And ideally find one that is asleep at the wheel. And luckily, we found one pretty quickly here over in West Arvada in Denver. Okay, we're just west of or I guess northwest of the center of Denver, and this is the Arvada location. And per ChatGPT, median income 176. Look at that. Home value 872. Okay. Now, what we're looking for here is we want to try and find somebody who's already dominating the map pack, but has very poor review velocity, doesn't have a lot of SEO, and no local signals on their actual website. Luckily, we found one, guys. Look at this. Zone HVAC repair. Look at this ranking these guys were able to achieve with 110 reviews, 35% penetration into the higher end of the map pack here. And if we start looking into their site, guys, it's not looking great here. First off, we'll stop by and look at reviews just briefly. I think they got about a dozen in the past month or so. It picked up recently in the past 5 days, but I think it drops off pretty quick. Yeah, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and then we're already a month out. So they've only gotten about 12 reviews in the past month. So very, very obtainable here. These guys don't have a very strong profile from the review standpoint. And look at this. If we go to their landing page, guys, they just don't have keywords in their H1. You guys know right where I'm going here, right? If you've been following along with the channel so far, you guys know we need to have the main keyword in the H1. Guys, it's so easy to do this. Look, comfort zone HVAC repair. And how many H2s on the page? Zero. No keyword density. Zone HVAC repair. They list some services here. These aren't even linked to actual pages. And that's it. There is nothing on this page that screams strong SEO. And guys, look what they've been able to do with this. This is insane. Look at this profile. They are dominating the map pack over here in one of the highest affluent areas per ChatGPT. Median income, $176,000 per year in Denver. Lodges, they've probably got rentals. They've probably got vacation communities out there, right? Home value at least median at 872. And these guys are just crushing it in the backyard. And check this out. The number 2 profile has 7 reviews. Even if you took the number 2 spot and only captured half this market and got number 2s all throughout this, look, there's no reviews on these profiles. 34, 12. Guys, this is the kind of physical address that you need to be targeting if you're actually going to try and walk into a new market. This is perfect. So here is exactly how I would go about setting up a new physical address right in the backyard of these guys and take all their rankings. Okay. Now that we have the right area picked, we need to go after an actual physical address that we can drop the profile on so we can actually begin ranking and taking these guys' map pack rankings and the calls, right? So we obviously found Comfort Zone HVAC repair, and it's just over in West Arvada. So all I did was I took their address and I went back to ChatGPT. I said, hey, I need an office park or a shared office space near this address. And sure enough, look at this, guys. It came up with the perfect location. Okay, Arvada Executive. And sure enough, the physical address is exactly where we need it. So if we go back to the original rankings that Comfort Zone, sorry, we scroll in. They're at about, I don't know, they're north of this little lake, this little pond area right here. And if we go over to the actual physical address we found, guys, it's like maybe half a mile over. This is the perfect profile. Look at this. We can get a profile stood up approximately, I don't know, like here-ish. Look at this. And the competition, guys, you could walk in here and just totally rug this entire market. You could take most of this area here. And as we know, guys, it is so affluent. Look at this. The home value, $872. Median income, $178,000 a year. This is how you actually research for a new profile in 2026. You guys have access to so many powerful tools with ChatGPT here. Look at this. All you need to do, punch in the address, find an office park. We found the office park right here. There's already dozens of other businesses located inside of it, and just go get a month-to-month lease, okay? It's going to be a few $100. Maybe you guys need it for like 2 months to actually shoot the video verification. Make sure you run the NAP data to the profile, which we're going to talk about here just in a second, and you can walk into this market and begin dominating probably within about 3 months. I would expect calls to actually be coming in to a new profile here if you built it correctly, which we're going to go over here in a second, to probably about 3 months. I think you guys could easily ROI on that, especially if you're just getting like an office lease or something. You guys need like 2 or 3 calls to ROI on this. Super simple. Now, quick note on getting that new GBP live really quick. What we're going to be targeting is Arvada HVAC repair, okay? Say you're an existing company. Say we're over here in the heart of Denver. We're looking to actually expand into this area. What you guys need to be doing, again, is filing a DBA. file a DBA, doing business as, and stuff those keywords into your profile. Yes, it's against Google's terms of service, but Google just says that you need to have the business name actually match your profile name. That's all it says, okay? They just want to make sure it's actually a legitimate business name. So let's go play by the rules. Let's go file a DBA, stuff those keywords in, and get a new physical address actually stood up on the profile. Now, when you guys do this, and you guys actually pick this location over here, and you shoot the video and everything, you need to make sure you're actually doing the on-page and off-page SEO work in tandem with this, okay? You need to go out and build the citations. You need to build a specific landing page for Arvada HVAC repair. After that, you guys can actually start working on the physical address. Let it bake for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you can go after verifying the profile right here and start to take these rankings. Now that we have the physical address picked out, here's the page I'd actually build to bury this #1 listing 10 feet under the ground. Now, we already know that their landing page is not very strong, right? We have an H1 that kind of talks about the area, HVAC, but it's pretty thin after that, no H2s, right? Again, guys, the landing page, you guys want to stand it up with, obviously, H1, keyword, stuff it in there, but we need to embed and talk about real jobs. Have photos ready, have neighborhoods talked about, customer stories, photos, okay? And this doesn't just help local SEO rankings in the map pack anymore. This is actually helping AI rankings as well. As we've seen in previous videos recently with ChatGPT, it's starting to actually look at the real, local, verifiable proof that you guys have done actual jobs and served actual customers in those locations. So when you actually go to build out your landing page, the H2s need to be stuffed with keywords, but you guys also need to talk about the different jobs you've actually served in that area. Talk about the customer stories, show some photos, show the techs actually in the field working in the areas we're trying to target on this landing page, right? Google is actually crawling this information right now, and AI as well, and it's looking for verifiable proof, ideally linked to reviews that you have off the website, that you guys actually did work in that area. Now, we've been talking a lot about how reviews win the map pack, but off-page proof is winning AI right now, and you can build both from day one. What we're advising a lot of our clients to do these days is not necessarily just hammer reviews in the Google Business Profile. Although that is effective in beating the map pack, and you do need really strong review velocity to maintain a good ranking over there, what we're also looking for these days is other AI mentions, other mentions around the web that are going to start influencing AI to start citing you guys for jobs. And one of those is the Better Business Bureau profile. Yes, you do need strong reviews on your Google Business Profile, but what we've been seeing lately is if you already have strong review velocity on your Google Business Profile, and it's more than enough to actually beat your competition, we want to start funneling some of that review velocity and that review juice to other profiles around the web. Most importantly, we want to be juicing up the Better Business Bureau profile with actual verifiable proof, services, photos, and reviews. Now, unfortunately, Yelp is actually cited in a lot of AI overviews. I know we all hate Yelp. We don't want to deal with that. Pushing reviews to that profile does seem quite effective these days to actually start ranking in AI. Now, here's the real ROI math month by month from 0 to getting completely ranked. So if you were to go with an SEO agency, let's look at the specific math here. What's the retainer? What's the payoff? When do we actually get an ROI on the profile? What's the LTV? All these numbers are based off of industry norms and averages that we've seen across client campaigns and backed by some research. So assuming that this area, these guys over here with Comfort Air or Comfort Zone HVAC, assuming these guys are getting about, I don't know, I would say about 50 qualified calls a month. I think that's more than justifiable. We've seen profiles like this rank in tier 1 and tier 2 cities, get anywhere from 70 to 80 calls a month by having this ranking. 35% penetration for an HVAC repair near me keyword term is pretty strong. So if we take a look at the math, we're going to assume we can actually get about 45 calls per month from this. Assuming you guys have about a 35% close rate, LTV on a customer is about $4,000, and the retainer about a little over $3,000 from an SEO agency. Okay. Now, you guys already know how this playbook works, okay? First off, we're picking the market. All the research we've already done in this video, you guys just need to duplicate in your own market to find the right physical address. Next up, we just need to go set up the profile, right? You guys need to be going out, setting up that physical address, and running some SEO to the profile, making sure your SEO is dialed with your NAP data, right? All those off-page entities actually showing that you guys are doing business at that location. Do that in tandem with setting up the profile originally, maybe give it about 2 weeks, and then the profile should go through one of the first times you guys actually try and verify it. That's kind of the SOP right now. Of course, after that, you guys want to start funneling reviews to it weekly. And from there, you guys want to start building out other off-page entities. Start funneling more citations, more reviews to these other profiles we've been talking about, like the Better Business Bureau profile. 2, make sure you actually have local SEO dialed, not just from a Maps pack standpoint, but also from an AI search standpoint. This is the timeline that we've seen for most of our clients, where we usually start to see ROIs come back and for calls. So month 1, obviously, we are just building out the profile. Nothing really new is happening quite yet. We're doing a lot of the foundational, a lot of the groundwork to make sure this profile is going to get, and this physical address is going to get verified quickly in the beginning. Month 2, we're starting to look at getting the first reviews, right? In the first week or 2, you really just want to be funneling 1, maybe 2 reviews to the profile. You don't want to start funneling reviews too heavy because you guys actually will get the profile suspended, and you don't want that. By about month 3, we start to see the payback come in, okay? We're starting to get enough reviews in the profile. We're starting to actually crack into the rankings. If you've actually filed the DBA with aggressive keyword stuffing on the profile correctly and done enough of your off-page SEO, and we have about 5 to 10 reviews in the profile, we should start to see some calls start coming in, which is what gets exciting. Followed by that, about month 4, we're starting to see the ranking actually penetrate. This is where we're starting to get some consistent calls every single month. You guys are actually starting to rank there. We're starting to hit probably around the number 2, number 3 ranks, starting to penetrate that green part of the map pack. And we should start to see that actual ranking start to fan out from that profile. By about month 5, we're starting to get cooking, right? We're actually starting to see the first rankings come through. You guys are getting more consistent calls. By about month 5 to 6, we can expect the profile to be much more up to speed. With the actual keyword stuffing done correctly on that profile, it's going to give us a leg up on a competitor we know is asleep at the wheel. We have a highly affluent market, and people are actually searching for that term in that area. It would usually start to kick up about month 6 to even month 7. And that's when you guys start to see the real ROI kick in for the SEO campaign. Now, let's look at the costs that actually stack up for working with an SEO agency like this. Usually the profile build out is included in most retainers. It's included in ours. And the website builds are also included these days because it's pretty easy to do website builds with AI. So we just throw them in included. And an average retainer of a little over $3,000 a month. Your total runway is about $20K all in for about 6 months of working with an SEO team. And finally, the payback curve, right? So we just found out that the ROI starts to come in right around about month 3, okay? And we have a conservative estimate and we have a, more rosy estimate over here, right? Assuming we also have to pay for that profile over there and that physical address in that office park location, all in, you're looking at about $40K on top of the SEO retainer for working with somebody like us. And you can see right here, based on the number of calls that we actually see coming into the profile and the projected value over the lifetime, you guys are coming in about $350K. So assuming the month-over-month growth that we actually expect in this profile, you guys can see that we ROI hugely by about month 12. And the payback period starts at about month 3, right? And we even have the conservative estimate in there, right? What if we only have like a 5x case? What if we're not closing as many deals, as many calls as we actually thought we were? Well, you guys are still closing in at about $200,000 of revenue coming in. And that's pretty good for about $40K all in on just the SEO and getting the actual office park, the office rented in the office park area. And just as a contrast, we threw a lead aggregator in there as well. If you guys have to pay about $500 for a job, go squabble over it with other companies fighting for that lead, you're probably not going to close most of them. Your close rate's probably sitting at about 10%. It's hard to get those jobs, right? And as soon as you turn it off, it shuts off forever, right? SEO is a flywheel. SEO continues to give you guys leads even after it's turned off because the profile is ranked and you actually have a node generating asset in Google Maps. That's easier to close, right? And as soon as you guys are ranked in that location, you don't have to run any kind of marketing to it. Once your SEO is dialed, yes, you do need to maintain it. You guys do need to make sure you're keeping up on the SEO trends. But for the most part, if you have reviews funneled to the profile and you have all of your on-page, your foundational SEO built out, and you're actually funneling reviews to the right profiles on the off-page aspect of this, like Better Business Bureau profiles, Yelp, Facebook, all these other kind of home aggregators that talk about the reputation that local businesses have, you guys are kind of cooking at that point. So guys, that is the entire playbook. Pick the right market, one that is actually affluent and ideally has a competitor that's just asleep at the wheel. Set it up with a clean new location, file a DBA and stuff keywords in it. Then all you need to do is execute with the real website, real review system, and a little bit of off-page proof so you guys can start winning in AI. One season of real work beats a decade of coasting. One dedicated run at a strong SEO sprint like this, and you guys are sitting on a gold mine of lead generation. If you want us to run this exact analysis on your market, find the pocket, and tell you who is exactly beatable, the link is down below. You keep the plan either way. And subscribe. Drop your city and trade in the comments down below, and I will do a breakdown like this on your market in the next one. Talk soon.